Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Medal of Honor dinner. I thank you all for being here. I'm privileged to serve on the board. I'm privileged to be associated with this island. There's no place quite like it on this earth, I do believe. And I'm privileged to know Father Tom and serve with him. We have a rather special evening prepared here. And before we start, as I think you know, and I have some comments that I will give afterwards, but our recovery program is such an important aspect of what we do on this island that I think it is incredibly important that you hear from one of the young men who has come through our program and is really a representative of why this program needs to continue to exist in the future and continue to give young men hope where their world has left them at a point where they have no hope and no belief in themselves. So what I would like to do is I will return, but before I do, I would like to introduce Matthew Gregoire, who is one of the young men who has come through our program and has some comments that he wants to give. And I'd like you to listen very attentively because this is one of the main reasons why we are here. It's one of the main reasons why I think our loving Lord has placed Ender's Island in the situation that it is. So Matthew, without further ado, I'd like to bring you up and have you deliver your comments.
Hello, my name is Matthew Gregoire, and I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I'm very grateful to be here tonight. I owe this opportunity to tell my story in front of you all because of my God-given sobriety and the foundation that I gathered at Ender's Island. I also owe my wonderful state of being to people like you who helped to keep Ender's Island in existence. As a child growing up, I always had the feeling that I was a little bit different. I was either painfully shy or I could not calm down. It was like I had a doubt in everything that I did, that I did not know who I was. In Alcoholics Anonymous, we define these feelings as a spiritual malady. Eventually, as I got older and life got a little harder, these feelings of doubt and insecurity turned into fear. My mother and father did the best they could to raise me. My mother taught me the value of being kind and considerate, and my father taught me how to be a man of my word and to have integrity. But despite all the love I received, there was a black cloud that followed me. Eventually, that fear and sorrow turned into anger. I was angry at everything and anything. I knew that I was different, and I hated myself because of it. I could not relate to the majority of my peers, and eventually I came to the conclusion that I must just be a bad person. I believed that I wasn't good enough to try to create a good life for myself, and so I began to experiment with drugs and eventually just identified myself as a party guy. By age 16, the only thing I knew how to do was get high or drunk. As my chemical dependency cascaded, my anxiety and my depression manifested itself so deep inside of me that I became fearful again. I began to panic. I began to drink more and more and to isolate. I had become an alcoholic. In regards to alcoholism, there's a saying that goes, you can turn a cucumber into a pickle, but you can't change a pickle into a cucumber. That is the only way I can describe it. I could try to drink normally, but no matter what, it was never enough, it was never safe, and I got into a lot of trouble. Today, I have accepted that I'm the type of person that can't drink safely. By the time I was 22, I had failed out of numerous schools, I couldn't keep a job, and a trip to the emergency room for an overdose or a seizure was practically a monthly occurrence. My father was distraught, and out of self-preservation was on the brink of giving up until one day in the spring of 2013, my father and mother's prayers were answered. Out of the clear blue sky, a man named Brad Perry, whom my father had served with in the Coast Guard, called my dad to see how he was doing. My dad told him some of my story, and that he did not know what to do. Brad had an answer. Brad worked in the kitchen at a place called Ender's Island, and he was a man of tremendous faith. I am certain that it was God's hand at work when he made that phone call to my dad. Brad invited my father and I to Ender's Island to go on a father and son retreat over Father's Day weekend. My dad and I had no idea what to expect, but a father and son retreat sounded like it could be a way out. It turned out that this father and son retreat was actually a father, son, and the Holy Spirit retreat, an Acts retreat. I always had the utmost respect for people of faith, but I never thought that I could be able to fit in. However, something truly incredible happened during those 3 days. During my time on the island, I met people who were unlike any other people I had met before. Although they did not struggle with addiction, they could relate. Not only that, but they were honest and told me about their struggles. During that weekend, I felt like I could finally breathe for the first time in 22 years. I held nothing back, and I told Brad and the guys that I knew I had a problem and I didn't know how to fix it. They told me I should talk to Father Tom, and my recovery began. Ender's Island gave me a way out, and if it weren't for Father Tom and the truly amazing people I met during my time at Ender's Island, I truly do not know if I would be here today. I've been sober for 2 years and 5 months, and I owe it all to Ender's Island. Ender's Island has changed my perspective on life by restoring my faith in humanity. During this year that I lived and worked on Ender's Island, I had to relearn how to live. Ender's Island and the surrounding community kept me motivated. Even when I was ready to give up on myself, I could look around and see all the people who believed in me, and for that reason, I always decided I would give it another day. Ender's Island and Father Tom helped me to recreate my identity by encouraging me to begin to start helping others. I made Ender's Island jelly with Carolee every Wednesday. Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I volunteered in an equine therapy barn. I spent a lot of time pulling weeds at Jim Moran's farm, and I helped out in the kitchen. Most importantly, every single night I went to an AA meeting. Slowly but surely, my self-esteem and sense of self-appreciation began to rebuild itself. When it was time for me to leave Ender's Island, I was a completely new human being. I was able to stand up straight and look everyone in the eye. I finally had self-respect, and at last I had become the man I wanted to be. I left Ender's Island to become a member of the Center for Collegiate Recovery Communities at Texas Tech, and the foundation I had built at Ender's Island has allowed me to thrive. After my first semester, I was offered a position as a part of staff working as a student assistant, and I have kept that job ever since. I continue to give back by giving presentations to classrooms of at-risk students about recovery, and I have helped many other men like myself get sober. I am now a sophomore in college. I have a 3.85 GPA, and I'm pursuing a career in nursing. I too want to be in a position to help others around me who are in need. If you had asked me during my active addiction if I thought I would ever get to do anything like this, I would have had to laugh. Today, my life seems surreal. Although I am very grateful on a number of levels, one of the things for which I am most grateful is that I can rest my head at night knowing that I'm not hurting anyone anymore. My mom and dad do not have to worry anymore. My sister is no longer afraid of me, and I have people in my life who trust and depend on me. In closing, I simply give a heartfelt thank you to the staff at Ender's Island, to Father Tom, and all from the island who have helped to reshape me and to give me hope. I now believe God put me on this earth for a reason and that He has a good plan for me. Finally, I thank all of you for listening to my story, for supporting me in my recovery, and for believing in Ender's Island. You all are gifts from God who are making a real difference in the lives of so many like me. You are all the people who have helped to give me a reason to live. Thank you and good night.